Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have a little bit of a bonus video over here when it comes to Xbox, where the Xbox news has gotten even worse. Now, apparently, like this whole entire weekend, it's just not going to be a good weekend, I think, maybe for gaming and gaming companies as a whole. We've seen a lot of really big issues and problems and just everything else happening when it comes to all these big companies. And this one is a little bit more of a slap in the face because it also reverts now to Call of Duty, where Call of Duty might be into a little bit of trouble, and as well as it integrates into the Activision Xbox deal, things are still getting rough because right now people are getting kind of swindled. A lot of people are just upset, and a lot of Xbox and Activision workers are still very, very upset as more and more information has come on out. So make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch down below. I'll probably doing a comfy stream on Twitch right now if you guys are bored after this video. And of course, sign up for Weeble. We get a bunch of free stocks down below. If you guys remember the Weeble, you guys got that good stuff over there. Go sign on up. You guys get a bunch of free money. So basically, right now, if you guys have missed it, Sledgehammer Games is, well, having a lot of big issues. Now, they did something kind of schemy and kind of gross, and I've seen a little bit of companies trying their best to go and utilize this. I've seen in the news quite a bit from companies like Tesla and other very big, basically places where you can go and work remote, where people are essentially tomfoodled into moving, into signing new leases, into spending more money and everything else in between. Now, if you guys kind of missed the news, we made a video on this, talked about this one, where Microsoft has laid off 1,900 Activision, Blizzard, and also Xbox staff members. A lot of quote-unquote redundancies, a lot of issues, and as well, people have just been basically finding out if they got fired or not, if they lost their job or not, and everything has been going very, very poorly. People are not happy with Xbox. People are not happy overall, and a lot of folks were assuming that the acquisition was going to be a good thing. A $70 billion acquisition. You'd imagine you had, like, well, you got big daddy money to go and spend and maintain your job and employment, and sadly a lot of that just never actually happened, and people are sad. Like we talked about some of the yesterday news, where a lot of folks have been working and a lot of folks have been trying and a lot of folks have been trying to find other jobs, and the gaming industry and tech industry as a whole has been destroyed. But now one more individual story now is Sledgehammer Games was basically kind of like double whammy, where number one, they had a huge massive layoff in part of this Activision Xbox deal, but as well they also kind of did the double whammy schemy jammy, where I don't know how to explain it better, where basically Sledgehammer Games will be closing their main office in California to relocate to even smaller office space. Now, I'm going to be kind of digging in between the lines, but it kind of goes to show that this was planned. That this actually was probably in discussion for a little bit longer than it probably expected on all these really big higher-ups. Where also a lot of big higher-ups too as well were actually actively leaving even before this big layoff happened. A lot of folks a few weeks before kept on coming up with news where a lot of folks were leaving, retiring, trying to find different jobs, or even leaving to different positions, or as well some folks were also being reallocated towards other divisions in the Xbox, well, company, which is okay. That's kind of how like jobs are, how things are. It's a little bit schemy, but the higher-ups kind of got the good. They knew the information, and it kind of seems like right now, at least on my interpretation of this, is Sledgehammer kind of new. The news was announced during a company-wide town hall meeting last week, so this basically means that as of this time, people have known for a little bit. Like this was a preemptive measure, which announced that Sledgehammer would be temporarily working from home until a new office is found near its current location. It's expected that employees will be working from home until the end of 2024, which in theory sounds cool. Like, if I have a chance to work from home from a job, most people take that as a win. But let's keep on discussing this. It's a move that comes at an interesting time for Sledgehammer Games, as it was also announced during the town hall that the studio would be the main developer for Activision's 2027 Call of Duty title. Infinity Ward will be heading the Call of Duty 2026, understood that it'll be the modern Warfare universe, and Call of Duty 2025 is currently planned to be the semi-futuristic Black Ops 2 sequel under the codename Saturn. The work from home announced that has caused some internal frustration in the company, though. In December 2023, Activision announced that all of its QA workers in Minneapolis, Austin, and San Diego working on Call of Duty would have to return to the offices 5 days a week. And apparently this also happened to other divisions as well, not only them. Speaking with sources, Activision's recent announcement on Sledgehammer Games going remote has been called a slap in the face by some employees. The return to office mandate impacted an undisclosed number of QA employees who have either had to then relocate to facilities that basically to the change, or have to leave the company. So basically, they were doing what a lot of other tech places have been, almost kind of solve. It was basically not giving off as many layoffs, where they're like, hey, like you live in, let's say, Maine. Our company offices are in California. Well, if you want to keep working here, we're going to be doing a return to office at least once a week, 5 days a week, whatever our company may have decided to go and do. And then those people obviously are living remote, and they are not in the same, either some people are not in the same country, some people are not in the same area, which is understandable. So if that's what the company wants, like, let me go and say the top level. I get that. I usually, if you can work remote and you can maintain that and you're not losing profitability, you should be able to go work remote if you want. I don't think that returning to offices is good inherently, but I can understand why a company would be like, hey, like, just come back in. We want to have people in there. I don't like it. I'd rather work from home, like top level, but I can understand why. But the bigger issue on that is not like that the company wants someone to return to work in office. It's that with all of these big issues with the layoffs and such, they were demanded people in December of 2023, as of right this second, 2023, they required people to come back to office. So people in Austin, Minneapolis, and El Segundo, and other various regions too, and this also not only the QA developers as well, other workers too working remote, basically had a 1 month period to return to office to maintain their job or they lose their job. The games industry right now is kind of hard to stay in. It's an issue. It's a struggle. It's bad. Like, there's a lot of people trying to find jobs with all these massive layoffs everywhere and not enough jobs to really go and fill every single position, especially with somewhat of those positions that are overly, like, already overcrowded as of is. But then after this 1 month time of last month, this is literally last month, of them requesting to come back to office, they then had massive amounts of employees laid off. Following on from today's news that Microsoft has laid off 1,900 employees from Activision Blizzard, Insider Gaming understands that 30% of Sledgehammer Games employees have been laid off. So you have these huge layoffs that are affecting a lot of people. And then as well, you have the double whammy where people are signing brand new leases. People are trying to go and spend thousands of dollars to move all their belongings to across the country. And this is even stated as of like proper press stuff we're looking at right now. And all this put together is costing people money where they just lost their job. And they basically knew about this because they told everyone a week in advance they're downscaling. They knew this in advance that they're going to be moving their offices. And then even then still, they requested people to work from, well, not from remote. Now, I can understand they want to have people in office and maybe try to do that, like, external heads trimming over there. If someone's like, hey, I can't do it, it's an easy hire or an easy fire, so they could hire someone else. I get that. But the people who are trying to make those moves already had the planned moves or already did sign brand new leases, already flew back in town and had to drive, let's say, 2 days, had to go pay for shipping, whatever. At this point, they lost money. They are now signed into a lease, maybe somewhere potentially even more expensive, let's say in California, and they don't even have a job. And this is insulting to me, and insulting seeing all this type of stuff too as well. They said the return to office mandate impacted an undisclosed number of QA employees who had to either relocate to facilitate the change or leave the company. So the ABK Workers Alliance, on the announcement, a spokesperson said the company moving the Sledgehammer team to a temporary remote working environment is an indication that they have the ability to grant remote work to the QA employees who have requested it due to disability, distance, and other factors, but are choosing not to. Over the last 12 months, return to office mandates have been enforced across the industry, and as 2024 kicks off, it looks like this trend is appearing to continue. So let alone the next upcoming Call of Duty games will have less people working on the games, as well as also potentially less QA people making sure there's less bugs and issues with the game. It is also a really big insult that I even saw this on Xbox doing this in the first place. I want to hear your thoughts and comments on all this type of stuff because this is rough to go and see. I don't like layoffs. If you guys are wanting to, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. We have the Twitter and Twitch room down below. We're probably live up on Twitch right this second, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching. And that's it. Love you guys.